Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Ikra Sheikh, and today's my presentation topic is TURBT. The content of my presentation include diagnosis, staging, treatment, and some detail of TURBT that include indication, setup, technique, and complication. Diagnosis is based on history and examination, cystoscopy, urine cytology, tumor markers, and for the staging purpose, ultrasound, IVP, CT, MRI. Bimanual examination before and after anesthesia, and transurethral resection of the bladder tumor for the diagnosis as well as a therapeutic purpose. The most common clinical presentation of bladder cancer is painless gross hematuria. The painless gross hematuria is present in 85% of the patient with the newly diagnosed bladder cancer, while the microscopic hematuria is present in nearly all the patients. Irritative voiding symptoms may be the sign of the bladder cancer, most commonly for the carcinoma in situ. When is hematuria symptom of the bladder cancer? The risk of the urinary malignancy among the patient with gross painless hematuria is 20.4%, while the risk of urinary malignancy among the patient with microscopic hematuria is 2.6 to 5.2%. Bladder cancer workup indicated if persistently greater than 3 to 5 RBCs high power field on the microscopic examination. The full hematuria evolution include the focused history and the examination. On the gross hematuria, we start with the cystoscopy, the urine cytology, upper urinary tract imaging via CT scan, and serum PSA, because the 10% of the patient with bladder cancer have the prostate cancer. In the microscopic hematuria, according to the AUA guidelines, the urine cytology should be avoided in the routine evaluation of the bladder cancer. The gold standard test for the diagnosis of the bladder cancer is cystoscopy and the biopsy. All the adult patient with gross hematuria and all patient 35-year-old and older with the microscopic hematuria should undergo the cystoscopic evaluation for the bladder cancer. Currently, the white light cystoscopy is the standard of care for the bladder cancer, but it is less reliable for the diagnosis of small papillary tumor and the carcinoma in situ. Endoscopic assessment should include tumor size, number, position, and the growth pattern, either it is papillary or solid. The comment on the mucosa, either is a normal red areas or the areas of red irregular mucosa. Assessment of the lower tract included the urethra and the prostate, and bimanual examination before the resection and after the resection.
What is the significance of doing bimanual palpation? No one?
Either it is fixed to the rectum or surrounding structures. We can feel the mass, it is hard or soft.
So how will you stage if the patient bladder is mobile, then what do you suggest? How is the fix?
While during bimanual palpation, when you have the finger in the rectum and you are pressing from abdomen from the suprapubic region, and you see that the rectal mucosa is not mobile and it is fixed to the bladder, or from the abdominal cavity it is hard and tender and skin have stretched. It means that the growth, either it is extended too much that it has pushed the rectum, so that it is fixed, or it has invaginated through the bladder wall, so the surroundings.
To give the clinical staging in the case of bladder cancer, bimanual palpation is very significant before draping and preparation and after the resection of bladder. If the bladder is mobile or it is fixed, we can stage clinically. If it is mobile, we can give clinical stage T3A, or if it is fixed, we can give a clinical stage T3B.
No, actually, the significance of doing bimanual palpation is to plan for radical cystectomy. If the bladder is mobile, tumor is mobile, then we'll counsel the patient for radical cystectomy. If the bladder is fixed, means it is T4B. Actually, means it is a pelvic wall and adherent. So it is difficult to do a radical cystectomy. Then we will give up option of chemo radiation or something else, medical management. So doing significance is that plan for cystectomy actually. Mobile, then we will go for radical cystectomy. If it is fixed, then it's difficult to do a radical cystectomy actually. When fixed, it is T4B.
Here are some images of the white light cystoscopy. Fluorescent cystoscopy is more reliable for the diagnosis of the small papillary tumor and the carcinoma in situ. Porphyrin-induced fluorescent cystoscopy use the photoactive porphyrins such as hexaaminolevulinate that accumulate preferentially in the neoplastic tissue and emit the red fluorescence under blue wave light with a wavelength of 360 to 450 nanometer.
Actually, it is reliable for non-papillary, not for small papillary. Non-papillary lesion or CIS or flat lesion.
Okay. Narrowband imaging enhances contrast between mucosal surfaces and microvascular surfaces without the use of dyes. The depth of light penetration into the bladder wall increases with increasing wavelength. Consequently, the vascular structure appears dark brown or green against a pink or white mucosal background. Here is the image of the narrowband imaging in which vessels appear dark brown or green and the mucosa is white or pink. Urine cytology has been the standard diagnostic test to add in the bladder diagnosis of the bladder cancer. It is adjunct to the cystoscopy, and the major role of the urine cytology is to detect the high-grade tumor and detect the carcinoma in situ. The criteria for the malignant cells, if the malignant cells have increased nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio and the prominent nuclei, then it's considered to be the malignant cells. The sensitivity of the urine cytology is 31 to 62% because it missed the low-grade tumors, and the specificity is 94 to 100%, and is excellent for the high-grade tumor. Yes, sir.
What is the ideal sample time of this collection of urine cytology?
It is not taken morning. It is not taken morning sample. It is taken randomly, 25 ml, because morning sample can give dead cell, can give cytolysis of. So morning sample is not reliable.
Yes, actually the urine cytology, morning sample, the shared epithelial cells are present. That's why it is not good yield in morning sample. So it should be taken randomly. And this urine cytology, actually, this is not a initial test. Probably it is used for only to follow up the patient as a adjunct of the cystoscopy. Like if patient has a known bladder cancer, superficial bladder cancer, he has received intravaginal chemotherapy, then we will suggest urine cytology to see the malignant cells. So if positive, then we will go for cystoscopy or biopsy. Okay, it's not an initial workup for use for.
Yes.
Yes, sir. If the cytology is positive, we can grade a patient as a high risk. If a cytology is negative, we can grade a patient low risk, and it can give to clue for doing a biopsy, cystoscope biopsy or not. If the cytology is positive, we can take a random bladder biopsy. If the cytology is negative, we cannot take a random bladder biopsy.
Yes.
Paris reporting system for urine cytology is to standardize the cytological interpretation of the bladder cancer. Approach is that if the cytological atypia is present, then find out the degree of the atypia. The mild degree is if nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio is greater than 0.5 plus at least one of the following, that is hyperchromasia, coarse chromatin, and irregular chromatin rim. Then it is the mild degree of atypia. And the reason for, if there is a reason for the mild atypia and treatment is given, then it is low grade urothelial neoplasm. And if not, then it is atypical atypical. The degree of atypia is severe is that the nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio is greater than 0.7 and hyperchromasia plus coarse chromatin or the irregular chromatin rim. Then we find out the quantity of the atypical cells. If it is rare, like less than 5 to 10 cells, then it is suspicious of high-grade urothelial cancer. And if it is more than 10 cells, then it is positive high-grade urothelial cancer. If cytological atypia is not present, then if fibrovascular cores are present or not. If fibrovascular cores are present, then it is low-grade urothelial neoplasm. And if not present, then it is negative cytology. Urine-based biomarkers have been developed as an adjunct to standard diagnostic modalities for bladder cancer monitoring and the diagnosis. It is generally accepted that none of the currently available tests can replace the cystoscopy. However, urine cytology or biomarkers can be used as an adjunct to cystoscopy to detect the invisible tumors, particularly carcinoma in situ. Fluorescent in situ hybridization detect the NU-plaidy of chromosome 3, 7, and 17. The positive test is considered when 5 or more urinary cells with gain of 2 or more chromosome, 10 or more urinary cells with gain of single chromosome, homozygous deletion of 9p21 in more than 20% of the exfoliated cell. Bladder tumor antigen detect two basement membrane antigen. The BTA STAT test is a qualitative dipstick base point care-off test, and ELISA-based PTA assay is the quantitative test. Recommendation for the bladder cancer: take a patient history focused on urinary tract symptoms and hematuria. Use the renal and bladder ultrasound or computed tomography IVU during the initial workup in patients with hematuria. Once a bladder tumor has been detected, perform the CT urography in selected cases if the tumors are located in the trigone, multiple, or the high-risk tumor. Perform cystoscopy in patients with symptoms suggested of bladder cancer or during surveillance. It cannot be replaced by cytology or by other non-invasive tests. In men, use a flexible cystoscope if available. Describe all macroscopic features of the tumor: site, size, number, and appearance, and mucosal abnormalities during the cystoscopy. Use voided urine cytology as an adjunct to cystoscopy to detect the high-grade tumor. Perform cytology on at least 25 ml fresh urine or urine with adequate fixation. Morning urine is not suitable because of the frequent presence of cytolysis. Imaging is used for probably for the staging purpose, in which there is the intravenous urography that detect the filling defects in the cheilitis, renal pelvis, and the ureter, and hydronephrosis. CT scan done in the muscle invasive tumor of the bladder, in upper tract tumor, and the tumor located in the trigone. Ultrasound are the to see the characteristics of the renal masses, detection of the hydronephrosis, and visualization of intraluminal masses in the bladder. CT is unreliable for staging tumor confined to the bladder, while MRI is superior to CT for staging unenhanced for staging bladder cancer. CT is accurate for staging advanced disease. CT and MR both have important limitations leading to overstaging and understaging. CT and MRI are equal in their ability to detect the lymph node involvement, for monitoring the response, and for detection of recurrence. This is the TNM staging system. Bladder lumen, lamina propria, inner muscle layer, and the outer muscle layer of the bladder wall. TIS is the carcinoma in situ, that the tumor is just involving the inner lining of the bladder, not involving the connective tissue and not involving the bladder lumen. The TA is the non-invasive papillary carcinoma. TI is the tumor that involving the connective tissue. T2A is the tumor invade the superficial muscle. T2B is the tumor invade the deep muscle. T3 is the tumor invade the perivesical tissue, and T4 tumor invade the adjacent tissues and the organ. The N staging is NX is the nodes cannot be assessed, N0 no lymph node metastasis, and what denote the single regional lymph nodes metastasis in the true pelvis, while N2 denotes the multiple regional lymph nodes metastasis in the true pelvis. N3 lymph nodes metastasis to common iliac lymph nodes. M0 denotes the no distant metastasis. M1A is a distant metastasis limited to the lymph node beyond the common iliac, and M1B not non-lymph node distant metastasis. Here is the staging. Stage 0 TA or TIS and 0 M0. Stage 1 T1 and 0 M0. Stage 2 T2A, T2B and 0 M0. In stage 3A, T3A or T3B or T4A, N0 or any N1 and M0. Stage 3B, T1 to T4A, N2 or N3 and M0. Stage 4A, T4B or any T, any N, M0 or M1A. And stage 4B is any T, any N, M1B. The grading system, WHO 1973 WHO grading system is the grade 1 is the well differentiated, grade 2 is the moderately differentiated, and grade 3 is the poorly differentiated carcinoma. 2004 WHO grading system for the papillary lesions, papillary urothelial neoplasm of low malignant potential, low grade papillary urothelial cancer, and high grade papillary urothelial cancer. Treatment include the transurethral resection, laser treatment, photodynamic therapy, intravesical therapy, in the intravesical chemotherapy, BCG, interferon, or BCG plus interferon, and cystectomy. Here's some detail of the TURBT. The TURBT under regional or general anesthesia is the initial treatment for visible lesions and is performed to remove all visible tumors, provide a specimen for pathological examination to accurately determine the stage and the grade. Before TURBT, we must have the urine cytology, bimanual examination, pan-cystoscopic lesion evaluation, and avoid the overdistension because the overdistension can cause the perforation and improve the visibility of carcinoma in situ. Bimanual examination of the bladder is often performed when the patient under anesthesia before prepping and wrapping and then after the resection of tumor for staging of the bladder cancer. The use of general anesthesia with muscle paralyzing agent also prevent the obturator reflex. A direct injection of 20 to 30 ml of local anesthetic lidocaine into the obturator nerve and its canal can also help to reduce the obturator reflex. Flexible cystoscope or preferably the 70-degree rigid lens which allow the maintenance of the anatomic relationship. Low-grade tumors can often be removed without the use of electrical energy. Lifting the tumor edge away from the dead vessel lessen the chance of the perforation. After all visible tumor has been resected, an additional pass of cutting loop or cold cup biopsy can be obtained to send to pathology separately to determine the presence of muscle invasion of the tumor base. A successful cauterization method involving the placing the electrode inside the biopsy site, then electrical energy will cause the mucosa to contract around the electrode unless the bladder is full. Light irrigation clears the area of bladder and blood and the vaporization bubbles created during fulguration. Visualization of a small 1 to 2 millimeter ring of white coagulation confirm the hemostasis and less the chance to bladder perforation than that occurring when the biopsy area is painted with the cauterization. Significant risk of bladder wall perforation and accurate staging is difficult to achieve because the underlying detrusor is absent in the diverticular tumors. The low-grade diverticular tumors are best treated with the combination of resection and fulguration of the base. Then the conservative resection can be followed by subsequent repeated resection if there is a high-grade tumor or involving the perivesical fat, and the partial or the radical cystectomy for the high-grade diverticular lesions. Anterior wall tumors and the tumors at the dome are the large present in the patient with the large bladder can be difficult to reach Minimal bladder filling combined with manual compression of lower abdominal wall to bring the tumor towards the resectoscope facilitate entirely of the most bladders. Temporarily perineal urethrostomy offer deeper access but is rarely necessary except in the obese patient with an inaccessible tumor. Digital manipulation through the rectum or vagina can occasionally facilitate the resection. The tumor that are present in the urethral orifice can lead to obstruction due to fibrosis. So care must be taken during the resection near the urethral orifice. Pure cutting current cause minimal scarring and may be safely performed, including the resection of the orifice if necessary. Pathologists should comment on the size, tumor grade, depth of the tumor invasion, presence of carcinoma in situ, whether the muscle is present in the specimen, specify the presence of LVI or unusual variant histology. If there is uncertainty over the pathology, a further early resection should be done within the 6 weeks. Complications of TURBT is obturator reflex perforation, extraperitoneal perforation, or intraperitoneal perforation. TUR syndrome, ureteric orifice obstruction, hematuria, clot retention, sepsis, and bleeding.
So what is the treatment of extraperitoneal, intraperitoneal bladder
Perforation.
perforation, and how will we assess whether it is intra or extraperitoneal?
Intraperitoneally can be assessed with the help of cystoscope. We find in cystoscopy a dark hole in omentum arc and gut can be seen through the posterior wall. It is intraperitoneal. In the intraperitoneal, the recommendation is exploration and biliary repair. While in extraperitoneal, we can take a cystogram on the table and we can assess contrast in the pelvis posteriorly. In the extraperitoneal perforation, we pass peripheral catheterization for 10 to 14 days.
So on cystoscopy, we will see in the OR. But if the patient is in the ward and they complain of distension pain, then how will you assess this is intraperitoneal, extraperitoneal?
Other clinical findings are suprapubic pain, abdominal distension.
Will you do cystogram? Cystogram.
Yes, cystogram can be done.
What will be the finding in intra-peritoneal?
In the intraperitoneal bladder perforation, the contrast can be seen in the bowel or in abdominal cavity in between.
In intraperitoneal, bowel loops will be opacified with intraperitoneal. ठीक है? बाकी जो extraperitoneal वो pelvic gutter में जो है ना वो जाएगा. You know, extraperitoneal we have to immediately open the patient, or we put an intraperitoneal drain, and extraperitoneal we will manage conservatory or prolonged catheterization. Yes, Manuzam.
But it is also important to diagnose the intraperitoneal or extraperitoneal during surgery.
Yeah.
If you are doing TURBT, so what are the signs that you will be alert that this patient might have intraperitoneal rupture?
Bladder की distension कम हो जाएगी, bladder flaccid हो जाएगा. There is a finding of dark hole posterior to bladder wall, seeing of omentum or gut.
हाँ, लेकिन ये है कि वो तो आप जब आपको सस्पिशियस हो तो फिर करेंगे ना, तो कैसे सस्पिशियस कैसे आपको अराइज करेगी कि ये इसको ये हो चुका है, हो गया है.
डिस्टेंशन कम हो जाएगी
ना. इसमें जो है ना सबसे पहले जो है ना वो एनेस्थेटिस्ट आपको कहेगा कि पेशेंट की पल्स बढ़ रही, ठीक है, पेशेंट की पल्स बढ़ रही और ही इज नॉट मेंटेनिंग ऑक्सीजन और सम. अच्छा, दूसरी चीज जो है वो एब्डोमिनल डिस्टेंशन होगी, ठीक है, और तीसरी चीज जो है वो ये होगी कि जो इनफ्लो है इरिगेशन का वो ज्यादा होगा और आउटफ्लो कम होगा, ठीक है. और तो इसलिए हमेशा जब whenever you are doing resection तो आपका one hand should be on the abdomen for distension. तो फिर ये high suspicious होगा और then you will look for the perforation the black hole. वैसे normally तो black hole नजर नहीं आता ना उस तरफ आपको. हाँ, तो उसमें ये है कि ऑन टेबल आप अल्ट्रासाउंड भी कर सकते हैं।
इतना बड़ा होल नहीं होता कि
हाँ,
उसमें आपको
न सर,
मगर आप कर सकते हैं आप इतना बड़ा होल माशाल्लाह
हाँ?
लग जाएगा।
नहीं वो जब नहीं सही है, सही से बिल्कुल, हाँ नहीं वो जब सस्पिशियस आपका होगा कि ये इसको हो चुका तो फिर आप उसको देखेंगे ना, ठीक है ना। लेकिन ये है कि ये जो पहले इनिशियल सिम्टम्स हैं उसके लिए जरूरी है कि पेशेंट जो है ना वो उसकी पल्स बढ़ेगी, एब्डोमिनल डिस्टेंशन होगी, और तीसरा जो इनफ्लो होगा वो आउटफ्लो से ज्यादा होगा, आउटफ्लो कम होगा इरिगेशन का। तो ये आपको हाई सस्पिशियस ऑफ अलर्ट करेगी कि ये हो सकता है कि ये हो चुकी है, देन यू गो फॉर
रेस्पिरेटरी कॉम्प्रोमाइज भी होगा।
हाँ दैट्स इट।
और ऐसे ही पता चलता है ना, मतलब आपको ये नहीं पता चलता लो भाई सुराख हो गया, दूसरा रास्ता नजर आ रहा है आपको अंदर का।
हाँ, और सबसे
इसलिए
पहले
मेरा आपको
एनेस्थेटिस्ट
पल्स
आपको अलर्ट करेगा कि
बाद में नजर आएगा।
लेकिन ये है कि ये जो ब्लडर परफोरेशन है, डॉक्टर रियाज से भी हम करेंगे डिस्कस, इज इट लेस विद द बाइपोलर एज कंपेयर टू मोनोपोलर?
So, personally, I have not used bipolar for bladder tumor, but yes, according to the literature, there is less evidence in bipolar.
बिकॉज ऑब्ट्यूरेटर रिफ्लेक्स जो है वो उससे
Yes.
कम है, ठीक है। और दूसरा ये है कि कॉम्प्लिकेशंस इसलिए कम है क्योंकि नॉर्मस वी आर यूजिंग नॉर्मस saline. So if normal saline goes into the peritoneal cavity, it causes less symptom as compared to the water as an irrigant. ठीक है ना। तो if you use bipolar, then the obturator reflex is less common. ठीक है। तो obturator reflex जो होती है perforation, उसको कैसे obturator reflex को कैसे आप prevent करते हैं? ये important है ना। These are the practical tips which you should all be knowing. obturator reflex जो है उसको कैसे आप
अभी हलीमुल्लाह बताओ।
While doing cystoscopy, if we find growth at lateral wall, right or left lateral wall, first of all we ask the anesthetist to give a muscle relaxant and give a general anesthesia, and after giving muscle relaxant and general anesthesia, we can give a local lidocaine injection to prevent, and we use a bipolar diathermy to resect that tumor.
And also cutting.
ये लोकल कहाँ देते हैं भाई?
Cutting current.
लोकल सर वो ऑब्ट्यूरेटर फोरामेन जहाँ
यार ऐसे आपने कह दिया ना मसल रिलैक्सेंट देते हैं, अब लोकल देने की जरूरत है?
नहीं अभी नहीं है, मतलब दे सकते हैं, ऑप्शन है अगर मसल रिलैक्सेंट नहीं।
छोटा जवाब दें डॉक्टर साहब, ताकि सवाल एग्जामिनर पूछे आपसे, इतना काफी था बस कि आप जो है वो मसल रिलैक्सेंट। अब लोकल में पूछना खड़ा हो जाएगा भाई ऑपरेटर कैनाल किधर होती है और फोरामेन किधर होती है, नर्व किधर जा रहा होता है, बताना बैठ के उसको।
और ये लेटरल वॉल से में ज्यादा है कम।
When current goes from the bladder, it should not travel towards the muscle. Then muscle will not contract and things will not happen. So you have different ways. You do either with succinylcholine muscle relaxants by anesthetist, or if you want to do procedures in hurry and you want to save times, then you can give you can paralyze the nerve distally from the bladder and obturator foramina. So this will prevent current traveling from bladder to muscle. So
हरी में सर्जरी नहीं होती है, ठीक है ना। आप ऑपरेटर नर्व ब्लॉक तब देते हैं कि जब आप जनरल एनेस्थीसिया के लिए मरीज की कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशंस है। You want to do TURBT, but the patient has contraindications for general anesthesia. So it is a possibility that you can paralyze the nerve by giving a obturator block. It's not like you want to do it in hurry and then you are going for a obturator block. There are contraindications for general anesthesia. Only then you go for a obturator block in case there is a contraindication for general anesthesia, which is a very, very unlikely, very rare scenario.
Agreed.
तो ये जो है इसके वेरिएशंस क्या हैं, मतलब जैसे तो ये तो TURBT जो क्लासिकल एक्सप्लेनेशन है ना, ठीक है। लेकिन मिसाल तौर पर अगर TA है या सुपरफिशियल ट्यूमर्स हैं तो उसमें यू कैन यूज फ्लेक्सिबल सिस्टोस्कोप एंड लेजर एब्लेशन। तो उसमें जो है वो जो परफोरेशन का इंसिडेंस है वो कम है, ना के बराबर है इफ यू यूज लेजर एंड फ्लेक्सिबल। because over distension of bladder is prevented. उसमें नहीं होती.
ब्लैडर लीक ज्यादातर उसमें भी होता है जब हम चिप्स वॉश आउट कर रहे होते हैं, उस वक्त हम ब्लाइंडली वॉश आउट कर रहे होते हैं और ब्लैडर फ्रेजाइल होता है रिसेक्शन के बाद, तो बहुत ज्यादा हाई फ्लो हो रहा होता है पफ्स देने में जब हम चिप्स वॉश आउट कर रहे होते हैं, और टाइम का पता नहीं चला, ज्यादा पफ दे दिए तो फिर ब्लैडर की कैपेसिटी रीच हो जाएगी और देन इट विल लीक.
बिल्कुल ये पॉइंट सही है. जब whenever you are evacuating this chips, तो it should be very gentle flow. Inflow जो है Bigelow से या LX evacuator से, it should be gentle. If you over distend the bladder, then there are more chances of perforation, especially if there are this diverticula. Bladder diverticula में अगर है और we are forcefully instilling the irrigation with LX evacuator, then there are more chances of perforation. And there are more chances of perforation in patients who have got resection in the bladder diverticulum, tumor in the bladder diverticulum. तो उसको कैसे prevent करते हैं? Diverticulum में अगर है तो उसमें perforation को कैसे prevent कर सकते हैं?
In the bladder diverticulum, there is no muscle,
हाँ.
so muscle deficient. It can, if we find during cystoscopy we find a growth at the region of bladder diverticulum. First of all, we can, if it is a low growth solitary papillary growth, we can resect it and send histopathology for biopsy. If the biopsy came a low growth, then we can second time resect and fulgurate. If it came high grade, then option is partial cystectomy or
इसमें जो है ना आप जो you be conservative in resection, ठीक है? Whenever you find a growth in the diverticulum, तो be more conservative. What I mean conservative means superficial or fulguration, ठीक है? Superficial touch करें और fulguration करें और biopsy ले लें, तो उसके बाद अगर हाई ग्रेड है तो फिर इंडिकेशन जो है पार्शियल सिस्टेक्टमी की है, क्योंकि ये जो डाइवर्टिकुलम के अंदर ब्लैडर ट्यूमर है वो इट्स मोर लाइकली टू परफोरेट, ठीक है? तो ये एक प्रिवेंशन जो है प्रिकॉशन.
और क्या मसला डायबिटिक ट्यूमर के साथ? आपको कोई परेशानी डायबिटिक ट्यूमर में? प्लीज और नहीं के साथ डायबिटिक ट्यूमर के साथ क्या मसला बताएं?
As there is no muscle in the diverticulum, so even if we found a PT1 disease on histopathology, it is actually PT2 disease, and we will treat it as a muscle invasive disease in a sense, and option is partial cystectomy or with diverticulectomy and things like this. So most of the time, growth in the diverticulum will land up in partial cystectomy rather than go for repeated TURBT resection and things. This is not an option for a growth in the diverticulum.
It's more likely to invade locally because there is no muscle beyond it. So after T1 stage, it is T3 stage. If it goes beyond the mucosa, it will invade the perivesical fat and it will become T3. So you have to be cognizant about it, that if it goes beyond this point, so it will become T3 and you will end up doing it, the radical nephrecystectomy.
अच्छा डॉक्टर रियाज साहब, बाज़ औक़ात जो है ना हम जब देखते हैं बायोप्सी तो उसमें ये तो है कि मसल इंक्लूडेड नहीं था, ठीक है? ये आप लोग ट्यूमर बोर्ड में जब करते हैं तो हमेशा तो नहीं, लेकिन समटाइम्स वी फाइंड दैट देयर इज अ नो मसल वाज इंक्लूडेड इन द बायोप्सी. तो इसको कैसे किया जाए बेहतर?
इसके लिए आइडियली ये कि
ये नहीं, डॉक्टर इकरा से पूछे ना, इसको कैसे बेहतर किया जाए कि मसल इंक्लूड हो, क्योंकि जब तक the muscle is not included in the biopsy, तो that means it's a incomplete resection भी है और आपको information incomplete मिलती है ना, तो उसको कैसे improve किया जा सकता है?
Sir, after resection of the tumor, we should take the like a cold biopsy.
कोल्ड कप बायोप्सी जरूरी है, ठीक है? कोल्ड कप बायोप्सी जरूरी है क्योंकि मसल जो है वो इन्वेजन आपको कोल्ड कप बायोप्सी से ज्यादा बेहतर मिलती है बनिस्बत TURBT या लूप से, ठीक है? बिल्कुल सही.
piecemeal resection and separate labeling of histopathology specimen after separate labeling of cold cup biopsy at the base of resection for muscle
अच्छा, क्या ये पॉसिबिलिटी है कि हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी में मसल्स आ रहे हो मगर वो T2 ना हो? जी श्वास साहब, नहीं, हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी में बता रहे जी मसल्स हैं. Is it a possibility that it is not a T2 disease?
Pathology में muscle है, but they are not involved by the disease. So how come it?
ट्यूमर है, मसल्स भी इन्वॉल्व हैं, ठीक है ना, हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी में. इट इज नॉट अ T2 डिजीज. इज इट अ पॉसिबिलिटी? किताब पढ़िए किसी ने? जी बताएं.
Away from the area where the tumor
ये
is.
किताब वाला जवाब नहीं डॉक्टर साहब. ये आपने इजाद किया अभी बैठे बैठे. कहीं और मसल्स होते हैं ब्लैडर में एक्सेप्ट फॉर द मसल लेयर्स? क्या हो सकते हैं कहीं और मसल्स? There is a possibility that there are muscle fibers in the submucosal layer as well. So you might find muscles in that. So it's a false positive result. It is not a T2 disease, but there are muscle fibers in the submucosa. It's written in Campbell. मैं अपनी तरफ से नहीं फेंक रहा हूँ, आप लोग पढ़िएगा जाके. इसलिए मैंने पूछा था कि जो है वो कोई
और पढ़ के इग्नोर कर दीजिए.
It's a possibility. फॉल्स नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है, भाई मसल आया ही नहीं आपके पास, ठीक है, या मसल आपने कहीं ऐसी जगह से ले ली जहाँ ट्यूमर नहीं था, ठीक है ना. और फॉल्स पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है कि भाई सब म्यूकोजा के अंदर जो मस्कुलरिस मौजूद है वो इन्वॉल्व था बजाय उसके एक्चुअल मस्कुलरिस.
Sir, regarding Professor Manzoor question about taking muscle in the specimen, we should stick to the principles of the TURBT, either going for en bloc or the piecemeal resection. Always resect the base and the margins as mentioned in our guideline as well in the Campbell, and send them separately. There is a high chances we will get the muscles. Sir, en bloc.
Can you explain what is en bloc resection?
Right, sir. As you were mentioning about laser quite earlier, so there is one more advantage with the laser is nowadays people are doing en bloc with the laser as well. Previously, this was a disadvantage with the laser that we can only ablate and we will not get a sample for the histopathology. But right now, even with the resecto loop and with the laser, we can do en bloc resection, like in a papillary growth, which is outgrowth. We can remove the growth in one instance, and followed by, even in en bloc resection, we have to remove the growth in a one piece, followed by a specimen from the base and another specimen from the margins as well. So this is what we call as an en bloc resection. For piecemeal, usually we are doing in a chips, in the form of chips or things like this.
Is there anybody to improve on this en bloc resection? Anybody to improve on the description?
One chip with resectoscope, na? So we can take out the whole growth with base, and we can found the muscles in our muscles also in it in resected growth. So in block resection is for the small papillary growth only, RC side growth.
इसमें जो है ना वो जो सबसे पहले है कि we do the cystoscopy and we mark the growth, a circular mark around the growth with the Collins knife. Make it sort of line around the this growth with the Collins knife, right? And then you resect, and it should include the maybe few or half centimeter of the normal mucosa around the growth. ठीक है, तो लेकिन ये सिंगल ग्रोथ में कर सकते हैं, मल्टीपल ग्रोथ है तो उसमें नहीं कर सकते. तो first you do the cystoscopy and make dots, one dot, second dot, third dot around the this circularly around the growth with the Collins knife, and it should include the normal mucosa as well, so that the margins are naked. And then you resect with the loop, and preferably bipolar diathermy should be used in this. But laser can also be used, like Dr. Saab said. So laser can also be used for that. तो लेकिन लेजर में जो है ना वो हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी का मसला हो सकता है, तो इसलिए आप उससे पहले बायोप्सी लें आप कोल्ड कप से. लेकिन बाइपोलर में बायोप्सी में मसला नहीं है. बाइपोलर और मोनोपोलर में बायोप्सी हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी पे मसला नहीं. लेकिन लेजर से हो सकता है बिकॉज इट्स destroying the whole.
So, what are the limitations of doing resection? How much should be resected? If once a complete resection, how much should be resected?
Duration
ये
of
तो आपका-
resection? Yes, you mean duration of
No,
resection?
no, limitation means how much should be resected.
How much should be resected?
सर crisscross fibers दिखते हैं.
तो किस क्रॉस का वायर क्या है मुझे तो पता नहीं.
Sir, like in radical TURBT, we are using as a part of a tri-modal treatment. The recommendation is to go in other things. For example, in endopilotomy, we give in CN till the periuteral fate. In the same case, for bladder, we can even go till the perivesical fat is visualized or thing like that. Sort of, we can even perforate the bladder if we are doing it a part of a tri-modal treatment. That is what we call as radical TURBT.
नहीं, ये criss-cross fiber actually the muscle fibers they are in two layers.
Two layers.
One
right.
inner half is a circular fiber, outer layer is longitudinal. So we have to resect of the circular fibers. You know, inner layer T2A means.
Right.
ठीक है ना? हमें जो है ना complete resection हमें अगर करनी है तो हमें circular fiber तक करेंगे तो फिर उसमें always you will get a muscle. ठीक है ना? फिर तो गाना में डीप मसल की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. लेकिन अगर आप ट्यूमर पार्शियली करेंगे तो आपको सर्कुलर फाइबर नहीं आएंगे तो फिर ऑलवेज वी आर डूइंग रीरिसेक्शन.
So ideally, all the tumors which are visible should be resected.
But the circular fibers.
But if you want to do a second sitting TURBT, so after how many weeks, after how many months, we should go for the second sitting if we have resected incompletely in the first.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Huh?
Ideal 6 weeks.
Ideal 6 weeks. Anybody else? Huh? 2 to 6 weeks. Or anybody else? Dr. Ikra, आप बताओ. Second sitting करनी है तो कब करेंगे?
Sir, 6 weeks के बाद.
No, there's no need to wait for 6 weeks. It's after 2 weeks. As early as earlier is better.
स्कैन किया जाता है, ठीक है.
Within 6 weeks.
सेकंड की
second
अगर
year.
रिक्वायरमेंट है तो 6 वीक्स की वेट करने की क्या तुक है कि भाई आप 6
You should wait for 2 weeks only.
Within 6 weeks time duration. Within 6 weeks time duration. ये ज़्यादा अच्छा है. लेकिन 2 to 4 weeks क्या ख्याल है? अगर पेशेंट मिसाल तौर पे ब्लीड कर रहा है और वी हैव डन इनकम्प्लीट रिसेक्शन तो सेकंड सिटिंग कब कर सकते हैं?
Sir, if his patient is bleeding, then it can be done within hours.
Within, हाँ. और अगर ब्लीड नहीं कर रहा और इनकम्प्लीट रिसेक्शन हुआ है तो 2 to 4 weeks जो है अकॉर्डिंग टू योर बुक्स 2 to 4 weeks इज द टाइम. लेकिन 2 weeks के बाद क्या ख्याल है बिलाल?
Exactly, sir. Guideline में तो 2 to 4 weeks लिखा हुआ
2 to 4 week कर लेना चाहिए बिल्कुल. प्रोग्रेस कर सकती है.
अंबर चलें आगे.
ठीक है आगे.
टाइम
9:05 अच्छा ठीक.
कितनी स्लाइड है?
Sir, बस 2 slides हैं.
चलो करो.
कंक्लूड करें. हाँ.
The role of random biopsy, sir, positive urinary cytology and absence of visible tumor in the bladder. Take the random biopsy. If there is an exophytic tumor, has a non-papillary appearance. If the tumor is on the trigone, bladder dome, and from right, left, anterior, and the posterior bladder wall, means that the random biopsy should be taken from the trigone, bladder dome, from right, left, anterior, and the posterior bladder wall. Prostate urethral biopsy, tumor is located on should be taken if the tumor is located on the trigone or the bladder neck in the presence of bladder carcinoma in situ. If there are multiple tumors, abnormalities of the prostatic urethra are visible. Biopsy is taken from the abnormal areas and from the preauricular area between the 5 and the 7 o'clock position using a resection loop. Sir, साथ ही हो मतलब bladder at the same time means that with the bladder tumor will be the prostatic tumor.
Means two different sites.
Different.
ये इस्तेमाल होता है
Synchronous, it means at the same time, and the metachronous is at the different time. Like first the bladder tumor is developed and then the prostatic tumor. It is pentagonal. Second malignancy. Yes.
डॉक्टर मंजूर की उसकी बात कर रहा हूं chronic lesion की सर ये जो लास्ट लाइन में इन्होंने मेंशन किए isn't it systematic biopsy rather than random biopsy because this is what the mapping plan we have for the bladder no
तो ये फरमाने कि ये रैंडम नहीं है तो सिस्टमैटिक हो गया तो आप सही कह रहे हैं सिस्टमैटिक है टू कैच अ ट्यूमर व्हिच इज नॉट विजिबल ऑन
अच्छा लेकिन एक चीज मैं बताऊं कि अगर ये सुपरफिशियल ब्लड ट्यूमर्स है ना T1A TA है तो या जो है प्रोग्रेस है तो उसमें रैंडम बायोप्सी जरूर होती है नहीं तो रीड की जरूरत नहीं होती ठीक है ये भी जरूर पॉइंट करना चाहिए और दूसरी चीज ये है कि अपर टेस्ट को कब हम करते हैं इमेजिंग अगर ब्लड ट्यूमर है तो 5% केस में अपर
यस सीधी बताऊं ना यूरेटिक ऑरिफिस में अगर होगी तो हम उसमें करेंगे अब इंटरमीडिएट हाई रिस्क में कहीं भी हो सकता है
तो अपर ट्रैक तो कैसे हम करते हैं एक्सक्लूड क्योंकि ये इसकी रिपीट चेक थ्योरी है तो अपर टेस्ट को हम कैसे असेस करते हैं कि इसमें ट्यूमर हो सकता है इन एसोसिएशन विद ब्लड कैसे करते लेकिन वो लोकलाइज तो नहीं करेगा हाँ
सर आप पूरा सीटी कराएंगे बिल्कुल डेफिनेटली सीटी कराएंगे यूरिन साइटोलॉजी सर नहीं सर यूरिन साइटोलॉजी सर उसमें ये कि वी विल डू सेलेक्टिव कैथेटराइजेशन बाय यूरेट्रिक कैथेटर
किडनी की सर वो हम यूरेट्रिक कैथेटर पास cystoscopy with the help of cystoscopy we pass a ureteric catheter and we can अपर ट्रैक में यूरेट्रिक कैथेटर पास करके कर सकते हैं यूरेट्रिक कैथेटर पास कर हाँ
और रिट्रोग्रेड का भी
जैसे रिट्रोग्रेड का भी रोल है
तो
सीटी यूरोग्राम हाँ सीटी
कर सकते हैं अपर ट्रैक इसमें है और 5% केस में अपर ट्रैक इन एसोसिएशन विद ब्लड कैंसर
Sir, after resection of ureteric orifices growth, when to pass a stent or what is the recommendation? After resection of ureteric orifices growth, is it necessary to pass a stent? यूरेट्रिक ओरिफिस ग्रोथ होती है उसको कटिंग लूप से करते हैं कोएगुलेशन नहीं करते एडिमा फाइब्रोसिस और यूरेट्रिक ओरिफिस बंद हो सकती है तो रिसेक्शन के बाद जो है ना रिकमेंडेशन है इसकी डीजे स्टेनिंग की या नहीं है
when you have resected completely when you have resected the disease completely then there shouldn't be any risk of retrograde migration of cancer but if there is residual disease then no doubt with reflux it yes sir we have to put sir we have to put if disease is completely resected then we can place disease
चलें सर थैंक यू सर
जी सर